In this episode of Hardwood Floor TV, we'll show you how we weave new life back into this floor where an old cold air return heating vent had previously been located. Wonder how it's done? Stay tuned. The first step to this repair, besides having material to replace it with, is creating a weave pattern so the final result doesn't look like a repaired floor. Here the installer marks areas with a square to be cut with a multifunction tool. In previous years, installers labored with chiseling by hand a straight end joint cut into the floor for this type of repair. As technology has changed, a simpler method with this tool has increased production time. Here the installer cuts where his marks were penciled in the beginning. Once all the end joints are completed, it's time to work in some relief cuts with a circular saw that helps in removing some of the pieces to make the weave. This is done in all areas where the multifunction tool was used. The next illustration should provide a better visual of what is being accomplished. The circular saw was guided to the end joint cut, so removal would be simplified.
What's going on? Are we on the air? Whoops, wrong button.
Once the area was vacuumed and a small piece of plywood was added to shore up the subfloor, it was time to begin the actual weaving in process. Here the installers find a starting point while making sure it remains square so the final piece falls into place without any gaps. Once a satisfactory start is created, the weaving in begins by securing a starter row. As they proceed out from the starter area, boards are cut and weaved into place with the help of some adhesive applied where they cannot blind nail into the tongue of the boards. In order for the last piece to drop into place, the bottom of the groove is removed as the installer shows us here. In the next step, the entire board plus the top of the groove gets some adhesive before the board is dropped into place. Some gentle persuasion with a hammer and a wood scrap finishes the installation part of this repair. Next, we have the installer filling in any gaps or cracks in the repaired area. This is then followed up by a rough sanding of the entire floor once the filler is dried. In this particular job, a very heavy grit was used on the drum sander, not only to improve the repaired area, but remove a heavy wax buildup on the older part of the floor. Following additional drum sanding with progressively finer grits and all the wall edging completed, the buffer comes in for the final step in the sanding process. This procedure takes care of any sanding marks left behind by the drum sander, creating perfect conditions for the staining process to be shown. Vacuuming takes place prior to the next step that involves water popping the floor. Water popping raises the fibers of the wood so it can accept a stain more evenly. Finally, the coffee brown stain is applied. What's with the box of bones?
That's my Valentine's Day stash. Dude, I got a lot of girlfriends. Oh crap, we're on the air. I'm embarrassed.
You should be.
Folks, check out a real big lace-in repair at the first video link. Then see how they replace boards. Great before and after pics. And finally staining and that water popping thing. You gotta change that sign, dude. I'm colorblind.